All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Tuesday evening. Another edition of KFTV Postgame Live. CP the franchise, Al Shataros on the ones and twos. The short-handed Knicks limped into Minnesota with Tyler Kolek at the helm and Karl-Anthony Towns visiting his old friends. And look, despite a gritty Knick effort, this one all turned around in the third quarter with Ant-Man's barrage, and in the fourth quarter with Julius's revenge. The Knicks could not stop Julius Randle whatsoever in the fourth quarter, as Randle would get the last laugh with 17 of his 25 points in the fourth. And the Knicks would go down 115-104. Let's talk about it. Call us up on the KFTV Discord. You had Tyler Kolek going in with 20 and 11 and 8. We'll talk about that. Good performance there by Tyler. Karl-Anthony Towns pouring in with 40. And we'll focus on Knicks miss. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. Bum night, but fairly entertaining game. Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. All right, man.
What up, bro?
We got a little Knicks Miss Eve, if you will. A little Knicks Miss Eve, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah. A little Knicks Miss Eve, as you're saying. No Brunson, no OG. So got to see Kolek get out there, get some extended minutes. Got to see some Diawara. Bacome Dadier made an appearance, man. Yeah. Had a little cameo in tonight's action. Interesting game, man. I feel like you could read this game in a multitude of ways. So let's get right into it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I would go straight into the fourth quarter because, the Knicks, they come out the gates, they're able to handle the Ant-Man third quarter, who had 16 points, and in the fourth quarter, Mikal Bridges was able to cut this thing down to 5 points. You had a Mikal Bridges bucket that cut that down to 5, but after that, Julius just went to work. You had a couple of bad possessions by the Knicks. You had a Ariel Hukporti handoff that got broken up by the Timberwolves. Then you had a Tyler Kolek to Hukporti pick and roll that got broken up. That leads to a Randle 3. Towns comes back down. He shoots a brick. Julius comes back. He goes right at Towns because at this point, Karl's got four fouls, so Julius is trying to get him to pick up his fifth, which was a good job by Julius remaining aggressive. So Julius would score there, and then basically would score the next 15 straight points. So after that 17-3 run, after that fourth quarter comeback by the Knicks, the Wolves would come back led by Julius, 15 straight Wolves points, and they really never looked back. From there, they got a couple of clutch threes, one from DiVincenzo, and Julius just kept on cooking. But, look, it is what it is. I would say, despite that fourth quarter outburst by Julius, look, the Knicks, they kept scrapping the entire game, despite, not having the chemistry that you would expect, especially with Jalen and OG out, and just guys just trying to find themselves. You had Towns with his typical bad decision-making with the bad fouls. So despite his 40 points, which was a game high, the Knicks kind of had to weather those storms. It all just came down to the fourth quarter where the Wolves kind of separated.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of self-inflicted wounds upon the Knicks tonight, man, whether it was bad turnovers, poor fouling on Karl-Anthony Towns, even Josh Hart who picked up the flagrant, man, and I understand his frustration with Rudy Gobert in that instance, who just, hitting him as he's midair trying to grab a board. But you just don't go after a guy's legs, man. Like, we had that same issue with Embiid going at Mitch. Like, you should know from that you don't do the same thing. So it was a lot of inflicted wounds tonight, man. Missed opportunities. That lineup to start the second quarter was just downright awful. You did not have any scoring whatsoever, so you just dug yourself a bigger hole for the Knicks, and we didn't see a lot of those guys from the second and third unit tonight after the beginning of that quarter. So, all in all, look, entertaining game. I thought it was good to see what Kolek could do in extended minutes. I thought it was impressive on his part that he was able to get 20, get the 11 boards, 8 assists. I thought he showed a lot more playmaking, a lot more poise. Even some of the shots that he was missing tonight, it's just him getting comfortable playing a team that is competing for a playoff position in the West. So I did like to see his aggression tonight, how he was able to get downhill even against a more stingier defense that he has played so far. So I did like to see that development from him, just because moving forward, once again, you want to see him stay in the rotation, just because you need somebody behind Jalen Brunson who can just continue to be a playmaker, facilitate, create opportunities for guys on the court, and that's what he did tonight. So I thought it was a good showing from Tyler Kolek. I think Mike Brown, if you're looking at Mike Brown right now, like, you take the loss in this case just because you didn't have your top guns tonight in OG and Brunson, but you say, hey, I learned what Kolek can do and what some of my other guys can do when I give them more minutes. And you can now say, hey, I can lean on him moving forward, because as they said on the broadcast, McBride and Shamet are both due to come back soon. So with those two guys, you're going to get a little bit more of a tighter rotation. So you got to figure out how do you go carve all these minutes for these guys. And as I mentioned with CK on the last post game live, man, I think Kolek should stay in the rotation just because of how he's improved, especially getting downhill and all that playmaking as I just talked about. So I'd like to see him continue his development throughout the season, because I do believe if you continue to give him more minutes and we see his development go in this upward trajectory, then he could be a pivotal guy in the postseason when you need to rely on him, when you got to give Brunson some rest. Outside of that, Knicks had it in the bag, man. They could have had this game. I mean, in the third quarter, they literally took the lead. You know what I mean? So they had it. They could have kept fighting. And that's after what you said, when Ant-Man was going off in that third quarter, they had it. Disappointing, because I wanted to see that this team was more than capable of winning without Brunson or OG on the floor. We talk about depth for this team, and they have a good amount of depth right now. I thought they had enough to beat a Wolves team that was really playing with their food tonight. I thought they could have done that. Sad they didn't see that, but once again, you can't be shooting yourself in the foot, man, even when you are missing guys. That's the more disappointing thing for tonight, and that's really leaning on the guys who were available. So I'm looking at Cat, Mitch, Hart, Bridges, like those guys. You got 3 of your 5 starters out there, and you got 4 of your I guess your 7 if you include McBride and Mitch. So like, I thought you still had enough to go out there and win, like I said, because the Timberwolves were playing with their food.
Yeah, they hung in there. They definitely hung in there, because especially in the third quarter, coming out the gates, I mean, it was not clean. You had Cat picking up the 4th foul quickly with the hook on DiVincenzo. You had a couple of broken possessions, and Minnesota was firing threes. Before you know it, the Knicks are down by 16. But then again, they would come back, they would claw back. Despite Ant-Man's 16 points in the third, Knicks went on their own run. And then in the fourth, as I said, when McCall cuts it to 5, at that point, Julius was relatively quiet. He had 8 points. He had only 3 made field goals, but after that, that was a turning point of the game, and Julius just went off. We know who that guy is, that version of Julius Randle, who is an isolation demon, and this year his isolation numbers have improved mightily with the Wolves. He's now in about the 78th percentile in isolation plays, and so he knows what type of defender Karl-Anthony Towns is. He knows he would have him on his heels with Towns not wanting to get into foul trouble, and then when Julius gets into that hot streak, it's tough sledding for him, and that's where the Knicks get exposed for not having that power forward that could. Very few power forwards can stay in front of him, because he's so physical and he's got he's a strong player. But hey, give credit where credit is due. He was sensational. 17 points in that fourth quarter, and the Knicks really had no answer. Started to fall apart at that point.
Yeah, look, and there's not many. I feel like the power forward position is just kind of becoming extinct in the league. There's not a lot of traditional power forwards anymore. I mean, Randall's like one of the very few. So it's hard, unless you want to go out there and go find someone who's a traditional power forward. There's not many guys out there. But look, man, look, this is where you got to look at Karl-Anthony Towns. And look, Bridges didn't hold his weight tonight either. But between both those guys, both of them didn't really hold their weight when it came to like leading this team. And if we're going to talk about Towns, because he did get the Randle assignment tonight defensively, this is why you got to be careful and not hooking Dante DiVincenzo. Like, you don't need to do that, man. You're big enough. You can shoot over him. You can match him up in the paint. If you can't be matching up in the paint, we got a big problem. But It's just silly stuff like that, man. Like, this is where it gets down to where the criticism that you hear from us, that you hear from the broadcast, that you hear from everybody, it's like, what are you doing with the stupid fouls, man? Like, just understand the situation. You are the second best scorer on this team, and you got to keep your mind in the game, keep yourself in the game, which means don't be committing any stupid fouls. So that's one. So that's the whole Karl-Anthony Towns situation. Don't need to say more on that. With regards to Mikal Bridges, I thought some of the shot selections that he took tonight, man, for a guy who, is a mid-range assassin, felt a little rushed. I thought some of the playmaking was a little sloppy on his end. He seemed like there were moments where he was aggressive, then there were moments where he was timid. It just, between both of them, there was just not a consistent flow to how you want to attack this game, which is why you gave Ant and Randle the opportunities for what they did tonight, man. And this is where, like, it goes back to why I'm not overly upset, but it is just frustrating because, once again, you want to see this team show that they have the depth, and it could have been a good morale boost, man. Sometimes you got to think about that for the rest of the team saying, all right, we don't have Brunson, we don't got OG, but, let's go out there and win tonight. Let's go show them that we can compete with these tough teams in the West and that we really are separating ourselves with the depth that we have on this team. And, look, you could be looking ahead saying we got the Cavs tonight, be like, hey, I want to really save myself for that game, but why not want to boost the morale of your team and just go into the next game feeling even more confident, not just for the next game, but on the season saying, we are good enough with what we got on this roster that if guys miss, we can compete on a night-to-night basis. And I felt like that was a missed opportunity once again for the team just to continue to do that.
115-104. Knicks lose to the Timberwolves, and with that loss, they will fall to 20-8 on the campaign. Timberwolves go to 19-10. No Jalen Brunson, no OG Anunoby, no Gershon Yabusele. He was out with. They said he was out with a trade flu. Al, he was out with a trade flu tonight, so no Gershon Yabusele tonight. But you did see a next man up scenario, and as you mentioned at the top of the show, Tyler Kolek. To me, look, Towns at his 40, and he can do that. He probably could have had 60 had it not been in the foul trouble. But Tyler Kolek is really the guy here because with these minutes, with the absence of Jalen Brunson, you see the absence of. It started with the absence of Landry Shamet, really, but then Deuce gets hurt. Now the captain is getting fortunate rest here. Good job by Mike Brown just sprinkling that in, getting the captain some rest. He knows Knicks missed day. Jalen's got to be at his MVP self. So we want to make sure the wheels are good for Christmas Day at Madison Square Garden because we know Spider's coming to town. But for Tyler Kolek, this is yet again a great test for him. Tonight he goes up against the veterans versus Mike Conley. Then he had to try to check Dante DiVincenzo. Those guys are guarding him, pressuring the ball, and making him make quick decisions with it. He's got to play make, and he's got to be a threat to score. I thought he did really well against his test tonight, man. 20 points, 11 rebounds. 11 assists, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals for Tyler tonight. And you got the Stifle Tower in the middle there. You've got Ant-Man, who's a great defender. So even without Jaden McDaniels, Timberwolves had a number of scrappy defenders, good defenders out there to make things hard for Tyler Kolek. And I just liked his aggressiveness yet again, just understanding that, look, I'm the starting point guard here. This is my team tonight. I got to do what I got to do to put us in position to win. And I thought he did that tonight, man.
Yeah, look, I like Kolek's game, man. I like the development. And considering from what you just got to, really got to put in perspective to what we saw during Summer League, man, to what he's doing now. It's a jump. It really is a jump. And obviously from last season, too. And that's where I go back to, man. Like, this guy could be a critical piece when you talk about it in the postseason, where you're looking for a guy who can create for others. And that's what he was doing tonight. Like, he could have had more assists tonight, man. He could have had more assists tonight. Obviously, one half of the assist is making the pass. The other half is guys got to make the shots after you make that pass. And I thought for Kolek, the way that he's able to, it's not pure speed getting downhill. Because like some guys, when you watch watch them in the league, a lot of it's just pure speed. Like, I'll just scoot right past you, get down the middle, and then go try to get a shot or just go kick it out to the perimeter. He's actually using his body, and he's actually being physical, man. And he's looking at how guys are positioning themselves, like which foot is leaning back, which way should I take? And they keep talking about how how Kolek's gone to the Brunson school. Yeah, that's what I meant. And you could start to see that. You could really see that by the way he's even throwing up floaters, how he's attacking the rim. Once again, just using his strength, the footwork. I thought that you see all of that just slowly coming to fruition, where you get this guy that now you don't like. Honestly, don't even look for trading for a point guard at this point. It looks like you got something here, and you should be working on it. And kudos to Mike Brown for empowering this guy when you lose Deuce, when you lose Shamit, to get that confidence. Because let's remember, to even start the season, he got minutes, then he lost minutes, right? And now due to injuries, he's back in it again. And he's taking advantage of this opportunity. And so you got to give Mike Brown credit for giving him that second chance again. You got to give credit for Kolek for, taking advantage of it. But I like the way that Kolek is playing right now. Definitely got to keep him in this rotation. When Shamit, when McBride come back. And so, CP, the question for you, as I asked CK on the last post game, is he staying in the rotation when those guys come back?
Has to. Yeah, he absolutely has to. He's playing that well. I think it's going to come down to, once you get Deuce back, once you get Shamit back, I think it's going to come down to Kolek and Clarkson being that 0.5 guy now. I think Yabusele, to me, is going to start to become an afterthought unless they find a trade for him. But the way that Kolek is facilitating his playmaking, his ability to play alongside Jalen Brunson as another ball handler, Brown's going to find minutes for him. Unless the matchup tells you otherwise, Brown's going to find those minutes for him, and he's earning it. And as I said, this is a perfect time for the Knicks, and this is a perfect time for Tyler Kolek. You have roughly 2 months between now and the trade deadline. So this is a great opportunity now, and they're going to be playing tougher teams. They're going to be playing tougher teams, including Detroit. Like I said, Detroit, for January 5th, I'm putting him in there. I don't care who's back. I want to see Tyler go out there against Cade. I want to see Tyler out there in Detroit on the road in a pressure cooker. I'm going to throw Huck Porty out there. We're on Kyler, but I'm going to throw Huck Porty out there against Beef Stew. Like, let's see how they measure up under extreme pressure situations, because that's what the playoffs are. That's what you can envision in those 10 minutes where you might need him, couple minutes a game, 8 to 10 where you might need him in the playoffs. So this is a great opportunity for both sides. Tyler to keep improving, which he's been doing since he started in the second year, and for the Knicks to evaluate and say, hey, how do we use this Yabusele contract to add some more bench depth? Maybe you don't need to look at the Alvarado direction. Maybe we go wing, maybe you go big. Best play available, we'll see. But Tyler's certainly going to make it difficult for him.
Yeah, he's going to make it difficult indeed. I'm just pulling. When is that Detroit game? It's in January, right?
January 5th.
So you got some time afterwards to even get more of an evaluation to see what you need to address at the trade deadline at that point. So that for a lot of these guys, man. And if I'm a second-year player on the Knicks, if I am Tyler Kolek, if I am Ariel Hukporti, if I'm any one of those guys, even Mohamed Diawara, man, I am looking to see if I can get some minutes in that game, because that's kind of going to that game will most likely solidify who's going to be not only on this roster, but who's going to be getting some postseason minutes. So, and for that matchup in particular, with Detroit being number one right now, they have that date circled. There's no way you can tell me otherwise. That team does not have this date circled, because after how the Knicks knocked them out in the postseason, they're looking for revenge and to make a statement saying we are here. And so for Detroit, they're looking for that battle. You know how they want to play physical. For the Knicks, you got to come prepared, everybody, right? But in particular, for Tyler Kolek, for Ariel Hukporti, those guys, they got to, man. They just have to, because these are they're backups in positions that we're talking about addressing a need for. That's the big thing. We're talking about needing a center. We're talking about needing a point guard. It's great to see that these guys are doing something. Kolek more so than Hukporti at this point, but it's good to see that they're improving and they're providing something, and that you're seeing the hustle from them. But they really need to take that next step up, man, because whether you believe it's just this year for the Knicks or you're talking about a window, the window is short when it comes to winning a championship. We already talked about once they got Karl-Anthony Towns, it's about a 3 to 4 year window. About a 3 to 4 year window. With the way the CBA looks, you have to win on the margins, especially with these rookie scale contracts. And with Kolek and Hukporti, you need for them to develop. You cannot. It's going to be hard once again. Like, you can't look at like what you got Clarkson and Yabusele on. That's just rare. Clarkson getting bought out, that's a rare opportunity, man. And it's great that he got bought out and that we have a guy like that who can create for himself and offer some, bench minutes and some bench scoring. But you need to hit on those guys. You need to hit on the guys that you draft.
Yeah.
So, and this is also going to be, we talk about the players. This is also going to be looking upon Walt Perrin again to say, because look, you trade a lot of your assets. How are you going to address it if you don't have the needs this year? Right? So everyone, not only the players, not only the coaching staff, but the front office too, is going to be evaluated not solely on this game, but how these guys are able to perform.
Yeah, good points, man. As we look at the rest of the box score here for the team, as we mentioned, hey, Karl-Anthony Towns, great game by the Bodega tonight. Despite the tough, spotty decisions, especially where it came to his fouls, hey, whenever he comes back home to Minnesota, those rims remember that shooter's touch. 40 points for Towns, 14 and 24 from the field, 3-6 from downtown, 13 rebounds to boot, but he had the 5 turnovers. Some of those were offensive fouls. I got frustrated there, here and there. But, man, if it wasn't for those, he could have had 50 easily on his old team. And so, look, give credit. I know there was a lot of, talk. There was a lot of noise. What's going on with Towns? Only the 2 points. And the Knicks went over the Miami Heat. That's the Towns experience, man. This is the Towns experience. Nothing that I'm too surprised about. And somebody was asking, what's going on with Towns? I said, listen, he'll be fine. He comes out and drops 40 and 13 tonight. So, look, he did what he could do offensively to keep his team in it. Tyler did what he could do. But the Soda duo was just that much better, man. Tough one for the big Bodega, but he's got to bounce back against the Twin Towers in Allen and Mobley on Knicksmas, man.
Yeah, and look, man, like he's been playing. How would you describe Cat's season this year? Because last year when he joined the Knicks, it was like gangbusters, came out rolling. You know what I mean? Like just highly efficient scoring, and not saying that he hasn't had those nights this year. And I get that he's adapting to Mike Brown's system. I think he's improved slightly defensively under Mike Brown. But there's obviously you still get the Towns experience as you mentioned. How would you grade his season so far, man? Because I'm seeing a lot of it's very mixed, man. I mean, it's just funny. Even on the last post game, it's like people are upset. Where I'm like, how do I feel about the Towns 2 point? I'm like, all right, we won, man. Like I'm not gonna go in on him getting 2 points. It's like, this is who he is. But how would you grade this season so far from him? If you had to give him a third of the season review.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a mixed bag, obviously. He's had his ups, he's had his downs, he's had his spotlight games, and he's had his nightmares. I would say B- overall. Nothing, I'm not going to say C or anything like that. I'd say B-. But for me, with Cat, I want to see him just get to the playoffs healthy. Because on some nights I'm like, you know what? Like on the 2 point night, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm all right with that. Like we don't need you going 150 miles an hour with them wheels, with the quad and this and that. Again, he's another guy that they need as fresh. See, Cap can grit it out. You know what I mean? When Cap gets to the postseason, every extremity he's got something going on. He's got an element, but you wouldn't know it because he's still gonna kill you for 30, 40, and a clutch bucket. With Cat, you got to make sure you got to get him there healthy, man. And look, the defense, he's been fine. Offensively, it's been a struggle. Just in terms of his decision-making, it's been spotty. You see it tonight again where Minnesota gets the best of him. They know him. They know him better than anybody else. Julius knows him. Gobert knows him. Dante's a smart defender, so they know how to get under his skin. Unfortunately, that's probably not an aspect of his game that's ever really going to change. So, and here's where these people like Gershon Rodriguez, he's like 40 and 13 tonight. You're blaming Cat. We're not blaming Cat. There's no Cat blame. We're talking about, is this guy going to deliver for the team in the playoffs, man? Point blank. See, people conflate the two. Regular season success. Why do you think we started the show talking about Kolek, despite Cat having the 40 points? He does this. That's fine, man. That's great. That's who he is. That's what he's getting paid to do. He's the highest paid player on the team. But, again, when you see the other things, You think about a big spot in the playoffs, and is he going to deliver for the team? That's what it's about, bro. It's not about game 23. I don't care about that. It's about what that means in April, May, and June.
It's all it is, CP. It's all it is. Is he going to deliver in the postseason? Because the decision making, the frustration, you see it out there too. The chatting with the refs, all those things, man.
Yeah.
This is not saying that we're not saying that he sucks. We're not saying anything like that. We're not saying that.
Listen, man. It's a new age of NBA takes where everybody just gets soft. They think you're hating. Charles Barkley mentioned it the other day. I couldn't agree with him more, and I don't agree with him on a lot. It's just a very sensitive nature of human dialogue. I think people are just very soft. They're very lighthearted when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, and look, Look, you can even look at last year's postseason. I don't think it was I think Cat was okay during the last postseason. Like, he had moments, he had games, but it's not like I don't think he was the most consistent guy. If you went back to every single game and said who was the most consistent player, I would not put Karl-Anthony Towns in the top 3. Yeah. Quite honestly,
that's okay.
I would not do that, and that's fine, and that's totally fine. You don't need him to necessarily be perfect, but you need him to reduce the mistakes to take it to that next level. That's all you need to do, man. Look, there's not going to be a perfect player in the NBA. I'm not looking for Karl-Anthony Towns to be perfect. I'm just asking him to be aware of the situation that he's in, and I don't think that's hard of an ask for a top and your highest paid player.
Hey, listen, man. When the other former players call it out for shoddy decision making, it's okay to call it out and not be soft and cry about it. It's okay. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can say he had a great game and he scored great and he's a great scorer and he's a great shooter. And we can also say he makes some of the worst decisions for a superstar on his team.
And you know what people also say, CP, is that they'll think that we're blaming this entire game on Cat. And I'm not even doing that.
That's not it. Because again,
I'm not even saying that tonight's loss is based on Karl-Anthony Towns. And I'm not even going to say it like you could say that he's part of it. There's a lot of guys who fumbled the bag tonight, but you can even blame to Mike Brown for that lineup to start the second quarter. But I'm not. Yeah. But I think we can all acknowledge that if your highest paid player, if you have the highest paid player on your team, you would ask for him to deliver. Hey, that's it.
It's nothing more, nothing less, buddy. Nothing more, nothing less. How about the little fisticuffs that happened between Josh Hart and Rudy Gobert? Did you see the static with Josh Hart and Rudy Gobert, man? Hart, he was trending in that direction all night. You could tell he was not
he was aggravated, man.
He was not with the theatrics. He was not with the referee theatrics. He was not here for it, man. I was waiting for him to get the 2 texts and be sent home. I thought he was going to hop on a flight early and get back to New York for Knicksmas before the team. He did survive. But, yeah, as you see here, Josh Hart was not happy with the officiating all night. The Stifle Tower is an agitator. He's been that. And Josh Hart wasn't having it, man. So, pulls the old leg trick, the old foot trick on the Stifle Tower to stop the play and make sure the referee got the hint. What'd you think about it, man?
Dude, like I said earlier, look, I understand Hart's frustration because as you're playing on the Jumbotron right now, you see Gobert is trying to knock the ball out of Hart's hands, but it's really just like swinging at him midair. It's like, come on, man, like that's Bush League type stuff. But then I don't agree with Hart just like attacking Gobert's legs. Like once again, we saw Embiid do that to Mitch. That was Bush League stuff. Don't stoop to that low, man. You don't got to stoop to that low. You could battle. You could do 20 million other things. But God forbid Rudy Gobert gets hurt, then you look like a jerk in this league, man. So I did not. Both of them were wrong on what they were doing. End of story. I didn't like it one bit. And I look, I think for Hart, he's another guy that's got to be able to control his emotions, man, because this is another guy who, even when Julius was on the team, another guy who could lose himself and just wears his heart on his sleeve. Like, you got to be able to keep your composure, man. And tonight was one of those nights where the game was very physical. The Timberwolves do play very physical, and you just got to be prepared for that, man. And look, the refs are not going to call everything, man. Look how they changed throughout the entire game, man. The way that they call games is not even consistent. The way they were calling stuff on Cat, by the time it got to the fourth quarter, I mean, they allowed Randall and Cat to play physical and to play bully ball. And it's like, so you weren't allowing that earlier. Now you're going to allow it. Like, how am I as a player supposed to know how to conduct myself throughout 48 minutes of the game if on a whim you can change, hey, this is what I consider a foul, what I don't consider a foul?
Yeah. And you know, another game like this, not surprising, man. Hart has these games. How many years has he led the team in technical fouls? He has these types where he just becomes a combustible guy and he comes close to getting ejected. So I understood the frustration. It is what it is. Hart's done all that he could, and he's had a great season so far for the Knicks. So I wasn't really even mad at it, even though I know, he's going to pick up a couple of frustrating, emotion-driven technical fouls throughout the year. That's just how he is. But, overall, I thought, especially when Tyler went out, him serving as kind of like that hybrid point guard helped the Knicks. Obviously, they were shorthanded. Obviously, you could see where they were searching for offense and guys were very tentative, especially in the first half, like the Dadiers, the Diawaras. Guys were kind of gun shy in the beginning. How about that when Karl finds Huck Porty for the lay-in, and
Huck wasn't even ready for that one, man.
Pass.
He was not ready.
Even ready for the pass. Like, it was brutal, man. But hey, that's this iteration of the team, man. I was with it, man. I was entertained tonight, bro.
They were asleep. Half of this team was sleepwalking, CP.
Yeah.
Half of this team was like, I don't even want to be here, man. Just send me back home. I don't feel like being in Minnesota. And I got league pass, and I don't blame them, especially after that halftime performance. They had some band out there because you know how league pass shows you, all the halftime performances.
Yeah.
Look, man, Minnesota Timberwolves. All right, I don't know who runs all the scheduling and all that for the entertainment, but good Lord, take a page from this book, write it down, crumple it up, throw it away. It was just awful, man. The band, not feeling it, put me to sleep. The music that went with the dancers also put me to sleep. So please, for the love of God, do better.
Tough one at the office. How about Diawara, man? JD put a tweet out there about Diawara, and you saw it when he was involved in a jump ball. He damn near looks like he's 6'10". I wonder if he's still growing.
What is he, like 18?
Yo,
19?
he's 20.
19,
he's 20.
Right?
He's 20.
He's 20.
Yeah. I like his minutes though. I do like him getting burned. He did knock down a 3, even though the jumpers look kind of cooked. He did knock down a 3 today, and I like the potential with this kid, man. Keep playing him those minutes, man. Keep playing him those minutes.
Look, I like him getting more. I like him. It didn't happen tonight. I like him getting minutes over Pacome just because defensively, you need that on this team, man. I like the switchability. I like the hustle. I also just like the aggression. When he's out there, he wants to be aggressive. It's offensively where he's still trying to figure it out, man. And you knew that part of his game was going to be a project, but I'm fine with him trying to figure that out as long as you're getting what you're getting defensively from him, because you're not going to get past him, man. I mean, the wingspan, his lateral quickness, his ability to recover. You need all that, man. You can't teach those things. But you can teach offense to a degree. So I like the minutes. I hope he continues to get more minutes. Obviously, once Shaman and McBride get back, those guys are going to be taking up a lot of those minutes. So you'd have to hope for games where the Knicks are just, knocking other teams down. They're up by 30 for him to get minutes. So I would like to see him get more minutes. I think it's going to be tougher once those guys return, though.
Yeah. It'll be very difficult. But so far, hey, good job by Mohamed Diawara. Pacome Dadier, not so much. But how about the zone? How about the zone in the second quarter, man? What did you like the zone?
I mean, I like seeing it.
I thought they had a couple of moments. I thought they did a good job junking it up, if you will. And that's kind of what a modern NBA zone is about. Some teams will run it as part of who they are, like the Miami Heat. The Pacers have done it at times, but the Knicks with Brown doing it. Obviously, you lose OG, you're down a couple defenders, you're putting lineups out there with Kolek and Clarkson. So I like it. Junk it up a little bit. and see if we could disrupt, get these guys out of a rhythm, see if they can handle it. Mixed bag as it's been pretty much all year.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of those guys just you need them to get minutes together, man. You need to give them minutes, and they need to understand. Like, look, once the report came out yesterday that guys who were going to be missing today's game, you knew that. All right, guys, this is how you're going to be playing zone, all right? And this is how you're going to be playing at a high NBA level. Let's see if you can go out there and go do it. And it's just a tall ask, man, when you're asking for second and third string guys to go out there and compete and do something that they're not doing on a regular basis. Because when you're playing zone, a lot of it's communication. You know, a lot of it's just understanding, all right, the principles of like, what area do I cover? Who's going to shade over where if I'm shading over? And that's just a lot of familiarity in doing zone, man. And so while the starters have more practice and probably ran that more with Mike Brown to understand where guys are going to be and understanding other guys' capabilities, right? Because a lot goes into zone. Understand the principles of what you're covering, knowing your capabilities, knowing your teammates' capabilities. There's a lot that goes into it. And I like if you're just going to be throwing guys out there for the first time who don't really get to practice that together,
it's tough.
It's not going to look great, man.
Yeah, and that's what I like. Jug it up, man. You know, you could tell they're on the fly. They're communicating with this guy's pointing to this guy. And look, it wasn't always pretty. Minnesota did a good job shooting their way out of it. But I did like that. Give the Knicks a little pressure situation to get on the same page. You got guys who barely got minutes together on the floor before. I did like that. You know,
when's the next time we see zone, CP? When's the next time we see it? Because I feel like Mike Brown doesn't really deploy it that often. It's like, we'll do it here and there.
No, they played it. Who they play last? The Heat?
Yeah.
They definitely played it against the Pacers. I'm trying to remember. Did they go any zone against the Spurs? Maybe. You have to go back and look. But definitely in the Pacer game is one that I remember vividly, them being in the zone for a pretty extended minutes. The Pacers kind of had their way there. But I don't mind it, man. Brown's trying to find a way. Any way to win. Any way to win now. You know what I mean?
Hey, I like it. I like that you get to switch it up because if you're an opponent and you're not expecting it, now you got to adjust your game. So that's the whole reason why they do it, is just to say, hey, let's throw a little wrinkle in here. Let's throw them off their game a little bit. Let them try to figure out. Let's see how quickly they can, deconstruct the zone. And if they can't do it fast enough, like as we used to see with the Knicks that weren't able to do because we didn't have enough shooters on this team, then you're like, oh well, just continue to play your zone, man, and then stick with that until they figure it out.
True indeed. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. CP and Alex on the ones and twos on this Knicks Miss Eve. Shout out to the Rhyme Animal Chuck D. Al franchise channel member. Says losses hurt, but I dug some nice moments. Yeah, and that's how I look at these games, right? Especially this one where you're coming in with house money. I'm not expecting them to win, but as I kept it close and they made that run, I said, okay. Let's keep it interesting and see what happens here because Minnesota is Minnesota. They have notoriously been a bad closing team. And when I'm watching guys like Bones Highland out there, it gives me hope, Al. It gives me hope that we have a chance. And that's all I was trying to say. I said, as long as Ant-Man is on the bench, you got Bones Highland out there chucking and yucking. Hey, anything is possible. Anything is possible. And they made it interesting,
That they did. They certainly made it. And look, I guess if you want the silver lining, if you want the, the consolation prize of like, oh, well, let's look for the silver lining in this win. You got to see some good minutes from Kolek. Like, oh, Kolek could actually run a little bit of the offense while Brunson's out there. And he did it for an extended amount of time. So if you want to take that as a win, walk away from it and saying, hey, we actually got enough firepower that if we actually played some serious basketball for 48 minutes, we could have beaten this team. It's another silver lining too. So
big time. Big time. Well, let's take a look at the key stats of the night. Knicks shooting 41% from the field, 45% for the Wolves, 37% from downtown, about league average for the Knicks, to 33% for the Wolves. Knicks did shoot 73% from the charity stripe, 70% for the Wolves. Knicks out-rebounded them very well, 55-42, including 18 on the offensive rebounding side. So it's always a plus when you have Hart, Mitch, and Towns out there to be able to snag those boards, and they did a good job tonight. Turnovers-wise, with Kolek at the helm, and wasn't really much on Kolek, but Knicks did turn it over to 19 times, leading to 22 Minnesota points, and some of those came at bad times. As I mentioned, part of that fourth quarter barrage by Julius came off of the Knicks having a couple empty possessions in a row, and that really got Minnesota into a groove and on a run of their own. Knicks did lose the fast break battle 20-16. Points in the paint, they won again pretty big, 54-42. And then largest lead of the night, Al, 4 for the Knicks, 17 for the Timberwolves. They led for 88% of this game.
I think my biggest takeaway from this one, CP, comes down to the rebounding. That's my biggest takeaway, because you do have a good rebounder in Rudy Gobert. And so the fact that you're able to compete with him, obviously Julius is also a solid rebounder too. Ant-Man can get up there. I like seeing that the Knicks were able to compete in this one. Another one for me is just, look, once again, if you really want to go to the silver linings, you can talk about the lead changes. There were 10 lead changes against a team that's looking to compete out in the West. So with this roster, which you're coming in this one, you don't have Jalen Brunson, you don't have OG. Minnesota, I know they got some injuries as well, but for the most part, they're pretty healthy. If you're coming into this one saying, hey, did the Knicks have enough to come out there and win? They showed that they had enough, man. I mean, it's not that Minnesota came out here and just, knocked the doors off. They won 115-104, and it was pretty close for most of the night. Like I said, you're talking about missed opportunities from the Knicks' perspective, where they just had poor turnovers, poor decision-making, and even with Randle and Ant-Man getting hot, they were able to keep pace. So that'll be my silver lining for, hey, in this one, could have had it, man. Could have had it. Take away a few good things from this game.
Yeah, not bad at all. For me, I'll go the fast break direction. 20-16, Minnesota got the Knicks, and some of those were off of Knick turnovers. However, the start of the game, we continue to see that Achilles heel for the Knicks, no matter which personnel you have out there, and that is teams looking for the opportunity to run on them. And tonight, with them seeing Mitchell Robinson out there, with Karl-Anthony Towns out there, and Karl picking up the foul trouble early, you saw this Minnesota team. They were off to the races, off of makes, off of misses, off of turnovers. That, to me, is why things kind of changed, especially in the second half, is because they weren't playing as fast. But in the beginning, when they were playing that way, the Knicks had a hard time keeping up with them. Obviously, with the pretty new rotation, the transition defense became even more of a challenge, just guys being on the same page, tagging up guys and identifying who they were going to be covering there. But I thought that was another area. That's another area where the Knicks really have to clean up even when they are at full strength. But tonight, it was once again a challenge. And so that's where I'm going tonight for the my key stat. But I thought that, the rebounding, the points in the paint, that was a good job by the Knicks tonight. Shorthanded, they were in it, and those were the stats that kept the Knicks in the game, in my opinion. So, good job overall, but a tough loss by the squad. Scrappy job. I wouldn't say good job because they lost, but a scrappy one for the Knicks, man.
Hey, the hustle category stats is what showed out tonight, man. The rebounding, second chance opportunities. So that's once again, like, they were in there, man. They were willing to work tonight. But they just could have shot better from the field. Shot 41% from the field, 37% from downtown. We've seen them shoot better in the past. This is a juggernaut of the offense, man. But when you're missing your captain, when you're missing OG, another guy who can knock down threes and just be a disruptor on defense, like, if you had the whole squad tonight, they would have knocked this team out, no question, in my opinion, if these guys were back in there. But is what it is, man. You got enough to hustle out there and compete. And that's sometimes all you need to know, man. And look, in this one, it's Mike Brown learning what he's got on the roster. That's the biggest takeaway. He learned what he has on this roster and continues to decide who gets more minutes and who gets to be cut.
Good points there. And the key stats of the night, Al, brought to you guys by our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook. Thanks to our guys at DraftKings for sponsoring today's show. And, hey, the holiday basketball has arrived. As we mentioned, Knicks versus Cavs on Knicksmas. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is where you want to be. Don't forget, DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player goes down in the first half, you will still get paid. And for new customers, use our code KFTV on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet $5, just $5, and get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. That's in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777. or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wage tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days, and minimum odds are required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. And once again, this is a limited time offer. Okay, 115 to 104. Knicks go down in Minnesota. We are on our way to Knicksmas. Call us on the KFTV Discord. Let us know what you guys thought about this one. And Al, you guys back at it again, man. Did you see your guy back at it, man?
Who?
Of course. Well, because you know who had a great game.
Oh, no, now I know who you're talking about. Good God.
Yeah, he's here. So I gotta pull up the tweet because here he is, our guy Sergeant Sources.
Good grief.
Bigging up his guy. You know, he's always on that King Julius theatrics. So here he goes. Robert Randolph. He ats me and he ats KFTV on the Twitter. Says King. And just leaves, a trillion dots. Of course, he's trying to say King Julius. He says he's calling in on the Discord. And to that I reply, I'm not going to be there. I'm on Wizards Fan TV tonight. Catch me on Knicksmas. All right, so, listen, there's a great chance that Randolph doesn't know how to use the Discord, so we won't be hearing from him. But, yeah. Another shameless plug by Robert Randolph, man.
I'm surprised he hasn't put out a tweet saying sources are telling me Karl-Anthony Towns and a bag of Dorito chips for Giannis Antetokounmpo and Kyle Kuzma. Like, what's going on, man?
He's been quiet on the trade talk. I don't know.
He's been quiet, man.
Yeah, I don't know if management had a chat with him. He's been kind of quiet. Sources has not been leaking anything.
You know what it could be, CP? Imagine this is the year that he actually puts out a source that actually comes to fruition.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been tweeting all year.
Right. So, yeah, that's...
Joke would be on us, but that's a long shot.
Yeah, that's sources. That's what we got to deal with.
So, CP, is he going to call in, man? Is he going to call? Like, nah. What's going to happen?
Nah.
He tried calling in the past.
We just read the DraftKings read. If we had to make a bet, I'd put the house on no. He's not calling in tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not calling in tonight. But shout out to Sources. He's going to be there Christmas Day with his Easter suit on, looking crazy. I'm sure.
Indolent seat?
Yeah, most likely. That's typically where Randolph, sits. He looks like he leads up the compliance department, doesn't he?
Is he going to be wearing a jersey under a jacket again? That's the bigger question.
Yeah, right. He can't be trusted, man. Randall, his fan behavior is very suspect. Yeah.
We got SJB in the chat saying Robert Julius Randolph.
That's right. That's right. This guy cannot be trusted out. But shout out to Sergeant Sources. Call back anytime. And there we go. Shout out to Sergeant Sources. All right, let's get to the phones, man. Call us up in the KFTV Discord. Let's hear what the people got to say. 115 to 104. We are reacting to it. Okay, let's hear from O, you on the Discord, man. I'll mute your mic.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. What's your name? Where you calling in from, man?
It's Omar. Omar from the Bronx.
Oh, what's up, man? How you doing? I couldn't see the full name. I couldn't see the full name in the chat, in
Oh,
the
good, brother,
Discord.
man. Happy early holidays to those who celebrate.
Yeah, man.
Hope you guys are doing well.
Good to hear from you, man. How you been?
Good, man. For sure. Haven't called in a while, but I've been listening for sure. Couple quick points. First off, it's kind of petty, but flexing on like Huck Porty and Karl-Anthony Towns when he has 5 fouls is crazy. Like Julius was acting like it was the finals out there. Like the first time he kind of did the little flex, that was all right. Cat does that all the time. Then he did it again. Then he started hyping up the crowd. Then that shimmy was just like, oh come on, like you're doing too much. That just annoyed me a little bit. Because we know it as Knicks fans, like not to make it about Julius Randle, but we've seen this movie before. We know it's smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Ant is the one that won them the game. That third quarter is when everything shifted, when Ant was just going off. He was hitting tough contested shots.
Yeah.
But the main point I was trying to make is this is like what I can see happening in the playoffs. Karl-Anthony Towns gets the foul trouble. We're going to need him in those fourth quarter minutes, but then he's even more of a defensive liability because he has 5 fouls. He's already a defensive liability without that. But when you have 5 fouls and you worry about getting into foul trouble, now it's like a turnstile, and that's kind of what was happening. That's why Julius was able to hit those easy jump shots. That's why he was able to kind of bullying him in there. It's not because he's that much stronger. It's because Towns was kind of, avoiding that contact so he doesn't get kicked out of the game.
Yeah, well, if it's not him, there's really nobody else that can match Julius's strength. Mitch tried to keep him in front, but Julius is a bull, man. And when he's got that full head of steam and he's got that momentum, we've seen it. We know what this guy is, and he can be dangerous. So he got the best of him tonight. That's why I didn't mind the showboating because he backed it up. He steamrolled the Knicks, 17 points in the fourth. You got to allow the guy to dance, man. Knicks couldn't stop him.
Well, I mean, that's something to worry about for the playoffs because, again, that was a big issue in last year's run where, Towns against his foul trouble and, like you said, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. He had a great offensive game. That's true. It's not where nobody's knocking him for that. But defensively, I mean, he can't put himself in these positions. One thing I'm going to say, though, like the refereeing, I know, not to make it about the refs, but I think it was Mike Breen I was watching on MSG where he said, like, you can basically call a moving screen on any play. It was so inconsistent. Like, what's a moving screen? What's not? There were a couple of plays where they called for an offensive moving screen, and you don't even know what it is. Like, what's the definition of it? So that was just really frustrating. Even Josh Hart, like that, when it made it seem like Ant kind of stole the ball from him, he pulled him down. It was very clear. And that's kind of when, I think we cut the lead to like 7 at that point, but then he stole it and dunked it. He clearly shoved him down with the left arm. So it's just frustrating with the refereeing, but, that's just the game.
Yeah, I hear you, man. That's just how it is with those guys. It was a tall order for the Knicks to begin with, but certainly the officiating didn't make it easy. And give credit for Josh Hart for not body slamming one of these guys. I thought it was going to go left. With Hart, but he was able to keep his composure just a little bit. So on to the next. We all right. We good, man. I'm not worried about this.
It's all good, man. So, thankfully, we hit a point in Knicks fans where it's just like the regular season really doesn't mean much. Let's get to the playoffs healthy.
Let's just get to it.
Let's take care of business there, guys. Happy holidays. Thanks for taking my call.
Same to you, man. Rate that call in the chat. 1 being trash, 5 being facts. We got Omar from the Bronx. BX, stand up. If you guys are from the Bronx, let us know in the chat. Salute to our guys on the Facebook side of the house. Sean Williams, Skip Righty. I see you guys holding us down there. Salute. Al, what's up with this OKC San Antonio game? Is this on? Are you got League Pass next to you?
I don't have it on right now.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm trying to figure out my League Pass. What's going on?
It looks like the Spurs won again. They beat OKC again.
Oh, so that game's over. Okay, I need to refresh.
The game is over.
I need to refresh. That game's over.
Yeah, they won 130 to 110, my man.
All right, let me get to okay. So OKC's showing that they are mere mortals after all. They bleed, don't they? Okay.
Look at that, man.
Look at that. All right, I'm gonna throw on some Orlando and Portland. See what's going on there. That's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Oh, you got a cat soundbite. Let's get to the cat soundbite.
Yeah, I'm dropping you a few sound bites, man. So be on the lookout.
Let's get to the cat soundbite. Hear what he had to say. And this was a soundbite on the Big Bodega, Karl-Anthony Towns on his old team. Let me make sure I unmute this. Here's the Bodega. Here we go.
Was it like getting that ovation when you came out of the game at the end from these fans?
I mean, it's always good to be appreciated, There's nothing more valuable in this league, in this job, than to be respected. So I left my heart and my soul here in Minnesota, and for the fans to just, even after it's like 2 seasons away, to respect me the way they do and to think of me so highly and to appreciate what I left on the court tonight it means a lot. It means really a lot.
Was it like getting that ovation when you came out of the game?
All right, so that was a Big Bodega Al reacting to his return to Minnesota. Fans showing him a lot of love, and he just picks up right where he left off. He was red hot, man. 14-24. Was catching threes, 3-6 from downtown. Inside on the stifled tower on Julius Reed. Yeah, he did have a good offensive game, man, and did so in front of his old hometown crowd, who showed him the love and respect from the opening starting lineups, to his walk-off with the 6th foul.
Yeah, man, this is nothing new. Like, this is why it's frustrating, because we know he can go out there and he can do this, man. And we just want consistency and smart decision making from him. Which, who also talks about this, CP? Mike Brown. I sent you that clip too. Mike Brown talks about it. So
okay,
pull that one up. He talks about Cat's game tonight as well.
Okay, let's hear from it. Let's hear from the head coach of the New York Knickerbockers. Good job by producer Al on the research here. We're doing research at this point right now. Let's get to it. Let's hear from the head coach of the New York Knicks. Here's Mike Brown.
Oh, Cat, obviously, he can score. He had 40 tonight. I said it before. He's a walking double-double. He just has to continue to try, to not pick up cheap fouls. He had a couple of cheap fouls where he led with his hands, or he hooked the guy. And now we have to sit him for X amount of minutes when he needs to be on the floor. So, the 40 and 13, it doesn't surprise me at all, because he's more than capable. But if you're going to be a great player, and I'm sure he does too, we expect more from him so he can be on that floor. Cat, obviously.
Al, do we need to run this back?
Oh, run it back for the people again, CP.
Do we need to run it back for the guys
run
out
it
there
back for the
watching games with diapers?
Run it back for the crybabies.
You're hating on him. Stop hating on him. He's going 40 and 13. What do you want him to do, guys? Stop hating. You're hating too much.
So wait a minute, CP. So the head coach could say what we're saying, and is he now a hater? Does he join us?
First, the head coach said verse for verse, bar for bar, what was just said on this show 100 times. You're hating. Oh no, you gotta stop hating. See, this is the era of expectations, man. Mike Brown knows pressure busts pipes. He's got rings, Al. He has rings.
Bro, here's the other thing, too. Mike Brown is in a position where he's brought in for high expectations, so he has to be talking to his guys. He's talking to Karl-Anthony Towns during this. And look, this is something I spoke to James Ham about when Mike Brown was out in Sacramento. He's going to call guys out tastefully, through the media, saying, hey, I expect more from you, and keep it real with the fans, man. And this is him keeping it real, saying, look, I see it too. We all know this about Karl-Anthony Towns. Everyone on the broadcast sees it. The fans see it. I see it. And we need more from him, man. And he knows that he needs more from him because he's one of your best players on your team. He's your highest paid player on the team. So you should be demanding more from the guy who's the highest paid player on the team. So this is why it's just funny where it's like, we say it, and it comes down to like, oh, you hate the guy. You don't like the guy. This, that, and the third. It's like, no, man, I want to see my team win, and we are capped at a situation where you have Karl-Anthony Towns on your team who makes the most money. He's just going to keep making more money, and you need him to play better basketball by just making less stupid mistakes. That's it.
Simple. What do you guys think in the chat? Call us up. If you disagree with the coach, forget us. We're just mere mortals. We're just conductors, just a conductor here, running the show. We are playing the sound bites. You people at home, we would like your opinions on these things. Call us up on the KFTV Discord. If you disagree with the coach, let us know in the chat, and we will address it. Or you could call us up on the KFTV Discord. Either way, it's up to you guys at home, man. You guys at home run the show.
And CB, this is the last thing I gotta say. Is like Mike Brown's also saying this too because he knows he's brought in to come win a championship, we cannot forget what Leon Rose said at the beginning of the season, and not verbally, but written, where the sole focus of this team is to win a championship. Mike Brown knows what he's brought in here to do. And he knows that part of this team winning is Karl-Anthony Towns playing some of the best basketball he has to offer and being mistake-free. Okay? And so that he is saying this because he knows that part of this championship run that they want to go on is going to be reliant on him. That's it.
That's it. That is it. Uh-oh. We mentioned this guy. It's only Wednesday, Al. It's only Wednesday. But he is here. He is here.
Uh-oh.
We got a
man.
$20 super chat from the one and only Robert Randolph. He says, the king. Let's bring him back so we can win a title with King Julius, Brunson, Mikal, OG, and Giannis. So there it is, Robert Randolph, ladies and gentlemen, leaving us with his 2 cents.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Bring Julius back with Brunson, Mikal, OG, and Giannis. I don't even want to ask how he thinks this is going to work, man.
Yeah.
I don't even want to ask.
He's got sources. He's got sources. Maybe he talked to his sources and they figured it out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're in the second apron for like how many years to keep this team around? Well, based on that.
Well, that's our guy. Robert Randolph, ladies and gentlemen. You know, friend of the program, if you want to call him that. And we just stay patient with him. That's all, man. Just stay patient. He's a special guy. Shout out to Sergeant Sources. Call back anytime. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new. We'll shout you guys out. Knicks lose 115-104. Hey, let's get to next call. Maly, you up next. Maly, you got to turn down the TV, man. You up next. Let's go, Maly, on the Discord. Maly, are you there?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm here.
How are you, man?
I'm good. I'll say, Cat, he did what I wanted to see tonight. He got it going. I feel like he was in a slump. But I feel like that's what we needed to see from Cat. I feel like we haven't seen a game like that from Cat in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope we can see him, kind of get it going now. Because now, we're all looking forward to that Christmas game. So
yeah,
I hope he can continue that. But yeah, I feel like I didn't really expect too much from this game. I don't think anyone really expected. I like that we put up a good fight against the Timberwolves. Tyler Kolek, he felt a little bit. He's getting more comfortable, which is really good. But yeah. Oh yeah, and I also want to say, yeah, Alex, I learned my lesson from being on Instagram too much because I don't know if you saw CP on the other show. Yeah, I was arguing with a lot of Phillies fans. And Alex, he went on like a rampage.
Hey man,
Alex went on like a rant talking about family show, the Sixers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But,
well, what you think? Maly, you got to stay on topic, man. You got to stay on topic, man. We can't take the show off the rails just yet. Stay with Minnesota and the Knicks. Philly was last week, man. We can't go backwards, man. We're going forward. We're trying to get to the end of the season, Maly. You taking us back into the archives. We're not there yet, man. Talk about the Knicks versus the Timberwolves. What'd you think about the game?
I thought very well about the game. Who else could play good? Mikal, I want to see Mikal be a little bit more aggressive. He's playing good. He's playing very good. I expect to see a little bit more, especially if Brunson and OG aren't playing. But yeah, and I like the potential I see in Diawara. I think we can use him as like a good wing once, gets that shot, going a little bit more. But other than that, yeah, I think think we'll be good, and let's just get ready for Christmas, and hopefully we
Yeah.
start the day off with a win.
Okay. Shout out to you, man. Call back anytime. Maly on the Discord.
No problem.
It's Maly on the Discord, Al. He wants to talk about Philly. Again about Philly. Like, well, you got to stay focused and stay on topic. You know, he's a franchise channel member. We appreciate him for his contributions, monthly contributions to the show. He's spending his lunch money on KFTV. You know what I'm saying? But you got to stay on topic, Maly. Help us help you. We're just the conductors here. You know what I'm saying? So you got to help us, man. You got to help us get to where we need to get to.
Nah, Stevie, but he got me Aggie. Not Maly, but just like the thing is like, man, I just do not care what other teams think about the Knicks. I don't care what, not necessarily teams, but other fan bases.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Philly fans are desperate. They're desperate for anything, any type of relevance. You know, that the process just went down again tonight. Some people are calling it a hyperextended knee. Who knows? You can pencil them in for street clothes again. That's just how the process works these days.
Yeah,
so they're desperate, man. They're desperate for some sort of like action because they know they're not getting it from their team, at least yet. Not yet.
Yeah, man. And look, I guess I'd be upset too if my team, lost to the Brooklyn Nets tonight. So, oof.
Yeah.
You guys lost to the Brooklyn Nets.
Oof.
Never. Not around these parts, man.
Bummy.
That's why I don't worry about them.
Yeah, they lost to the Nets.
They can be in all the chats that you want, man. I don't give a damn what they think.
They lost to the New Jersey Nets. Wow. That's crazy.
The Swamp Dragons.
The Swamp Dragons took them out. Yeah, so you kind of understand the frustration from the Philly fans.
Yeah, man. They have to, grab onto anything that shows a glimmer of hope. Oh, we beat the Knicks. They're a contender. We did it.
That's right. That's right. Okay, a little bit more here on Mike Brown as Maly talked about Diawara. We saw some Dottier. We saw some Kevin McCullough's action tonight.
Holy cow. We went deep into the bench.
Yeah, it was Mike Brown.
MCJ.
Here was Mike Brown speaking on these guys. Here we go. Oh, no, this is just a still here. Remember, New York. So he talks about playing the combinations. Diawara, Huckporty, Kolek, Mitch, and Josh. Did that lead to mistakes? He says it could, but our young guys got to be ready. That's what the league's about. You're missing bodies. Next man's got to step up. I wasn't mad at any of the combinations, man. Mix and match it up. Well, I mean, what else are we going to do? Like, look, you're shorthanded already. There's no Brunson. There's no OG. I was surprised to see McCullers out there. Bring him in. Let's see what he can do out there. He made mistakes. He got the quick hook. Learning experience for him. For Diawara, hey, keep it coming. Keep it coming. And for Dottier, yo, man. You were the first round pick. Step your damn game up. That's what Mike Brown is saying. Be ready.
He's just happy to be there at this point.
Yeah.
Well, look, man, this is like, all these guys tonight just need minutes just to see what they can provide for this team. And so I'm not upset with giving those guys you don't like that rotation if you're trying to compete tonight, but at the same time, in this type of game, you're not going to win every single game. And for Mike Brown, he's like, I got to see what I have on this bench, man. Why not tonight to see who can go out there and compete against a good team? Because sometimes, what you need to invigorate some of these players that don't play it a lot is to throw them out there against a good competing team to see, all right, who's going to get the adrenaline, who's going to rise to the occasion. You see Kolek's willing to do that. Is there anybody else out there? And that's sometimes where you find the guys that you need, because sometimes you just need a gamer, man. You just need a guy who can go out there and just, raise that level when they just play better teams. Just got Kolek tonight, but hey, once again, for Mike Brown, it's a learning experience on who he has on the bench.
Learning experience indeed. Shout out to Dero Fly. Al sends a super chat. Shout out to Dero Fly. He says, we have OG and Brunson tonight. We win the game. Yeah, there's a good chance. They're a great team with those guys. But I'm not mad at Brown for resting those guys. You have the Cavs on Knicksmas. You got two big Eastern Conference games. You got the Cavs on Knicksmas. Let's win another one in that season series. And you have your first one against the Atlanta Hawks. Let's win that series as well.
Yeah.
Let's kick that series off well. Focus, man. Focus. Mike Brown is focused. I like what he's doing there. So That's that. Al, you getting any Christmas shopping done yet, man? You done?
We got a last bit stuff to go out and do stuff tomorrow.
You're
just
done.
to make sure.
You're done. You going out tomorrow?
Early, but yeah.
Oh man. God bless you, buddy. Good luck in the streets.
I did most of my ordering, man. But you know what? Here's something that some of y'all got to learn too.
Yeah.
And this is like the fatal mistake. When you're ordering stuff online, you gotta order it at the beginning of the month, not the second weekend. Beginning of the month.
Yeah.
I ordered something in the second week of the month. It's not even gonna be here until after on Monday, man. I'm like, what? Well, hold on one second. And they said it would get here, this week. But now this is why I gotta go out tomorrow and go get something.
Yeah, a lot of shipping delays going on out there. USPS, Amazon. I had a couple of stuff that's that is gonna get here late. I did hit them all though. I hit it Monday though. I went Monday. I was very strategic.
See, that's where you're smart, man.
Very strategic with it. See, Monday most of the kids are still in school.
Yep.
Some people will take the whole week off, but most people, depending on your vocation, some people will get later in the week off. So I went Monday. Hit them all early afternoon, and it was still a little bit of traffic. But again, you got to know how to navigate when you get to the mall. You got to know which entrance to go through. You got to know how to navigate through the parking lot. You know what I mean? You got to know which entrance to park at because you know the stores that you're going to get to. It's all strategic. It's all for the peace of mind, man.
This sounds like a seasoned vet over here, man. You sound like a seasoned vet.
Yeah, well, if I have to. See, previous years I was all online. I was with you. I was all online. I'm not hitting the stores. I'm not going anywhere near the stores. But this week I had to. Like you said, I forgot a couple things. I had to go get a couple things. So Monday I did, but I had to do it on my terms. I'm not waiting on no lines. Like I told you, I hate lines. That's the one thing I hate. I'm not doing no lines. I'm not doing no crazy parking spots and fighting with people. No. Early Monday, in there, out of there. So I wish you luck tomorrow, my guy, because I'll be home all day. I wish you luck tomorrow, man.
On your terms.
Yeah.
What movie does it sound like? It sounded like, damn. What is it?
Yeah.
Who's it? Mel Gibson, Donald Glover. Why am I blanking on it?
Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, you're a young whippersnapper, man. You don't remember classics like that, man, by name.
Lethal Weapon.
That's what you got me here for. Lethal Weapon.
Appreciate it, man. Thank God I got you who's acting like he's 60 years old, man. You act like you're way too old at some points. Come on now. Act your age.
Bro, you didn't know Lethal Weapon. I had to
stumbled on the name, man. How do I know the actors in it and can't remember the name? Good God, man.
I had to fill in the gap for you, man, with Lethal Weapon, man. Come on, man.
Thank you for the assist. I appreciate it.
No problem, bro. I got you, man.
But you sound like Donald Glover in the movie, man. You're too old for this ish.
Yeah,
that's how you're sounding.
Yeah, Danny Glover. See,
Danny Glover. Sorry, Danny Glover. See, now you're throwing me off.
You see why I'm here? Now.
Too many Glovers in this world.
Yeah, I know, man. Now, tomorrow, I get my gift wrap on, like I told you.
Hey, look at that. Hold on one second. We got KFTV Jalen in the chat. He said Danny Glover. He corrected me, too. Look at that.
Shout
young whippersnapper in that case.
Shout out to the KFTV Jalen for knowing what's up. Yeah, so, I'm going to get my wrap on, get my gift wrap on. Tunes. Start off the morning with the tunes. I did it this morning. Jackson Motown Christmas. That's all you need. You get some Jackson 5 in there, a little Smokey, a little Temptations in there, a little Diana Ross. You get everybody in there. Motown Christmas. How you put that on in the morning time. Because you're going to need that peace of mind when you go out on the road. You know what I mean? People going to be road raging. People going to be fighting over this, that, and the third. So you gotta start your day off cool, calm, and collected. Motown Christmas.
You see the CP's not with any of the new stuff that they got playing on the radio right now with the Ariana Grande's.
Oh no, sir. No, sir. I'm not listening to the radio at all, buddy. You know what I mean? I'm not listening to anything on the radio. I'll tap
Kelly
in.
Clarkson out there.
Yeah,
like absolutely not.
I'm not familiar with any of those tunes, sir. I go straight to my Spotify. and let it curate my experience. So I'm doing.
All I
that.
know is that there's definitely Mariah Carey playing over there.
Oh, of course. Well, you know the ladies. She's a Mariah, head. So that's gonna come on. So I got to give a little bit of what she wants, and then I do my thing, and everybody eats. Watch a little Home Alone. Jingle all
Which
the
one? Which one? Hold on one second. Are you a Home Alone 1 or 2 fan? Which one are you?
Both.
Oh my
Both.
God.
Both. Yo, 2 was hard. What do you mean? 2 was hard, man.
I love 2.
Yeah.
1 was cool. I like 1. 1 was great. I like 2 more than 1.
But 1 was like the original's always gonna have something. You know what I mean? It's gonna have a certain charm to it. It's the original. The original had you dreaming as a kid, like, wow, this is incredible. Had me making my own booby traps in my house just in case the bad guys came. I promise you. True story. I don't lie on the show, bro. I promise you. As a young whippersnapper, 6, 7 years old, and when Home Alone came out, I used to make my own little concoctions, leave it out in the backyard, like, yeah, if we get robbed, I'm just giving them this, right? This poison right here. Like my man Kevin, I'm setting up booby traps in the room. All of that. Yeah, absolutely, bro. Yeah.
The CP's pulling out the saw,
all
cutting
of that.
a hole in the floor.
All of that. Home Alone. Yeah, 1 and 2. You got Jingle All the Way, a little Die Hard, little what's it? It's a Wonderful Life. I might watch a little of that. Mm-hmm. It's a good times, man. Good times.
All good times, man.
I got my Knicks Miss decorations on the tree. I got my KFTV ornament. I got a Knicks bear, a couple basketball ornaments.
Okay.
Yeah, so my tree's very festive.
I got the Knicks, Jets, and Yankees ornament going on the tree. So
okay.
Gotta cover all bases.
I had a nice Giants one. That one broke.
Oof.
Broke. I don't know.
Maybe it's an omen.
I was about to say that was probably an omen, so I got rid of that fast. Yeah. Got rid of that one fast.
Maybe when mine breaks, that means the team will go on to prosper. But who knows?
That's right. So, yeah, man. It's all good stuff, all holiday stuff. But whatever you guys do, some people don't rock with the holiday. I don't do this, I don't do that. Hey, whatever it is, man, spend some time with your family and friends. Simple and plain. In its lowest form. We're all busy. We got stuff. Life is life, and as we say, spend some time with the family, man. Don't matter how you do it. You don't got to do the Jackson 5 thing like me. I'm going to do my Jackson 5 thing, man. I'm going to do my Motown Christmas. But, hey, man, just spend some time with the family, man. That's all it's about, bro.
Because I did take off from work this week, so I got a little man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been putting on all these Christmas shows that he can watch. And so there's been a lot of Sesame Street Christmas because he's 2. So I've been watching that with him. It's just something to keep him engaged, man. So then I showed him some of the old claymation stuff, that they had. So seeing that he likes that type of art at a young age is also really cool just because, that's the stuff that we grew up on.
Yeah, that is true, man. That is true. So I'll tell you one thing, though. I did make a purchase, Al, that might... I got to say it kind of low because I don't want wifey to hear. I made a purchase that might bring me out of retirement, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Yep. I might be back, bro.
Woo.
Yeah. And I got the new Halo joint. I got to go through that first. That's legacy. I got to go through that. I got to go to the campaign. I got to get back to it, Master Chief and them. I think I might get that Call of Duty, bro.
Oh, wow.
I might. The whole paintball conversation, it got me back into my Call of Duty mode. And I was Call of Duty OG from the original. I still got my dog tags hanging up in the bedroom. The original. Battlefield. I was in the mix. I was in the mix.
Counter-Strike? Did you play Counter-Strike?
Of course. That's how I started. Of
there
course.
You go.
Of course. We used to have... See, this is before all the schools got like hip to it and started blocking things left, right, and center. We used to play Counter-Strike in school.
Ooh.
On the school computers.
There you go.
On their time, on their dime.
On the landline. There you go.
On the landline. Yeah. I might be coming back, bro.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah, I might be coming back, bro.
Are you gonna get a 2K as well? What's going on here?
I already got that. That's that little man wants that, so that's already set. That's already in the bag. I'm thinking about for me, man. Forget them. This is about me. This is about me. I might be coming back out of retirement, bro.
CP's like, yo, I need something, man. I need to get my video game back on.
I've been watching for so long. You know, I can't escape it now.
From the
man.
sidelines. I gotta come out of retirement.
You know, I can't escape it. I go to my parents' crib. My nephew's over there, and so I bring little man over there, and they're getting in on the Call of Duty and the 2K, and I'm just watching like a sad dog outside the window, man. You know.
This is the meme that Josh Hart tweeted when they got Dante, and you are now Mikal Bridges as Squidward in the house. Everyone's running outside having fun.
Kane and Lynch, good game. PR Blaze, Kane and Lynch, Half-Life. We should play
Half-Life is great.
We used to play Half-Life at school. Team Fortress, Armand Dutta talking that talk. Yeah. So if you see me, you might see me. I'll give you my gamer tag, man. I'll text you Christmas Day, Nixmas Day. If I text you this, just like just random username, just know that's my gamer tag. I'm waiting.
All
for
right,
you, bro.
Knicks Fan TV, it is. I know it's coming through.
I'm waiting for you, man. If you see the Knicks Fan TV gamer tag, I'm waiting for you, bro.
All right.
Yeah. That's it. That's how I'm planning to spend Christmas. And then, the usual, we'll have Knicks Miss. We'll watch the Knicks game, Knicks versus Cavs, and then we'll be on for rapid fire post game as usual. A tradition unlike any other. And then we'll get to it, man. Watch the rest of the games. Enjoy the fam. Get my eats on. And that's that, man.
Got to go make the mac and cheese,
Oh, and that's another thing.
Here we go.
Yeah. All this talk with the inflation, right? And prices is going up here, this right and center. And yeah, you're seeing it here, there. You're seeing it with certain products and stuff. But, it's life. Like, you got to eat. That's how I say it. Like, I got to get my stuff. Like, certain things I'm just not going to go cheap on. But, bro, the block cheese for the mac and cheese? Good Lord. I got to call Robert Kraft and tell him, what's going on with this, man? The Kraft cheese, the block cheese, the Cracker. Well, I use a Cracker Barrel joint. Okay. I use a Cracker Barrel, extra sharp yellow. Bro, back in the day, you used to be able to get that for 2 for $5, a deal. Now it's $4, $4.50 each. I almost have to go with the Instant Mac for these people for dinner.
Oh my God, CP! What are we doing here?
Nah, never. I never do that. I never do that. But yeah, man. Mac and cheese pricey these days, man. Yeah.
I was about to say, you're down bad, man. If you're pulling out a pot and the powder to go inside.
Nah.
That is some college struggle right there.
It's tough. It is tough. You know what? And shout out Smooth Guitar in the chat. He says he works at Trader Joe's. I do get the Trader Joe's Mac, though. The box Mac.
Which one?
For little man. They like the box. They got the shells, the white cheddar shells.
Okay.
And the other night, those are good. Those are good.
They got like 4 different ones at Trader Joe's, man. That's why I'm asking you, because like they got the reduced fat one, they got the jalapeno one.
Yeah.
They got like 20 million different types of mac and cheese in a box.
This is the yellow box one, and then they got the white shells, yellow box, and they got the other. But yeah, man. Prices going up, man. Right, prices are going up. So. Well, what's
life is life, and that is it's more than life, and at that point,
life is lifing. But it is what it is, man. You roll through it, do the best of times, do the worst of times. And as long as you're here, you're here, and that's that. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel, and shout out another one of our sponsors of tonight's show, man, and that is Shop Doer. Hey, if you guys are looking for any last-minute holiday gifts, check out our friends at Shop Doer and check out the Doer jeans, because once you do, I'm telling you, man, with Doer, they are an absolute game changer. They sent me a fresh pair of their performance denims, and it works for me because, like I said, between going to watch parties, I might be here, might be at the Garden, I might be on the run going Christmas shopping, so I always need jeans that can fit my active lifestyle, and that's what Doer does a great job of. And number one, it starts with their Cool Max technology, Al. They keep you warm when it's cool, and they keep you cool when it's warm. So I never really seen jeans like that, but Doer definitely has them made in that way. And also, they're antibacterial, another thing that I never knew about with the Doer jeans. So they stay fresher longer, less washing, more wearing, and that's certainly a win in my book. It's a perfect combo. Style like jeans, comfort like joggers. You look sharp, you feel good, and you're ready to take on whatever the day throws at you. So do yourself a favor, go to shopdoer.com/KFTV right now and get 15% off your order. That's shopduer.com/KFTV. Trust me, once you put on that pair of Doers, you're not going back to your old jeans. Doer, made for the doers, made for the franchise. All right, shout out to our guys at Doer, shopdoer.com, promo code KFTV, 15% off your order. Okay, Al. That's that, man. We'll take a break. Oh, we got Game of the Week? How we looking? Do we have Game of the Week?
We do have Game of the Week. It is confirmed for tomorrow for 10 a.m., people.
Sharp.
10 a.m. All right, Christmas Eve. We're getting to this thing bright and early since we need time to get ready for the game that starts at noon the next day.
Yeah. All right, so we'll be ready, man. We'll be back Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time sharp. Make sure you guys are joining us live.
Wednesday.
Oh, that's what I meant. Wednesday. I'm bugging. It is Wednesday. So we'll be back in 10 hours, people. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to all the mods. Salute to everybody that dropped the super chat. Happy Knicksmas to you and yours as well, man. We out of here. Number one show for the fans by the fans. Randolph, don't call me. We out of here. Peace.